Good morning, everyone. Happy Great Enlightenment Day. Happy Founding Day. Today, many members, not only from North Carolina, but from other states and maybe from other countries are joining us today. Let us first start our practice with Qi Gong. Please stand up and join the Qi Gong practice.
Good morning. Happy Enlightenment Day. We welcome you on this special day. Let's begin with the Qi Gong. Okay, make a fist and tap your dungeon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. And both hands is side to side. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And push it side to side. This hand push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, push 7, 8, 9, 10. Little longer. Okay. And little bit upper. Push your feet and hand. 2, 3, 4, 5. Push. 6, 7, 8, 9. Little more stay. Down. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next. Okay. Then hands all the way up. In. And slowly down. It's a sitting. Hold back your ankle. And breathe in both hands side. And then look at the ceiling. And breathe out. Okay. And breathe in all the way. And slowly out. Hold your back ankle. Okay, and breathing in. Look at the ceiling. Slowly. Time. Okay. Deep breathing in. All the way. And breathe out slowly. Cross. Hold your back ankle. Again, head down as much as you can. Head down. And slowly breathe in. Okay, one more time. Okay. Hello. Then press it and then press down. Okay. 가죠. One more time. Deep breath in. Thank you for joining.
불조사본부 중생의 성불로 능이성유상하고 능이성무상하여 유상으로 보면 상주불멸로 여여자연하여 무량세계를 전개하였고 무성으로 보면 우주의 성주괴공과 만물의 생로병사와 사생의 심신야경을 달아 역도로 변화를 시켜 혹은 진급으로 혹은 강급으로 혹은 은생어해로 혹은 해생어운으로 이와 같이 무량세계를 전개하였나니 우리 어리석은 중생 이법신불로
Good morning, friends. Happy Great Enlightenment Day. We are going to share the story about Sotaesan's enlightenment journey.
The founding master Sotaesan was born in 1891 into a poor peasant family. One day, when Sotaesan was 6 years old, he looked up at the beautiful, clear sky that did not have a single cloud, and he raised the question, "That sky is high and vast. How did it get so clean? And how does the wind and clouds arise from such a clean sky?" These initial questions were the catalyst for more inquiry. From the age of 8, his every thought became a doubt. When he started to reflect on himself, his own existence became the subject of questioning. When he started to reflect, as he thought of his parents, the relationship of his parents became the subject of questioning. When thinking of day and night, the change of the day and night became an object of questioning.
At the age of 10, Sotaesan heard a story about mountain spirits, and he thought that if he could just meet a mountain spirit, all his questions would be answered. In hopes of meeting such a spirit, he arduously climbed Sambat Mountain every day for 5 years and prayed there fervently. His prayers were not answered, but this 5 years' consistent effort increased his spiritual power.
At age 15, after hearing a story about a Taoist teacher assisting a man in solving problems, he stopped searching for a mountain spirit and began to find a teacher of the way, who he thought would exist in the real world. A true teacher who could solve all his doubts and guide him to the right road in his life. There was not an act of asceticism and hardship that he did not perform, but he had no opportunity to ask questions or to receive guidance from a true teacher.
Not having found spiritual guide, Sotaesan became absorbed with the one thought, "What shall I do?" One day, contemplating this question while waiting for the ferry, he entered deep meditation. When the ferry returned in the evening, people saw that he had remained in perfect stillness for the entire day. His question, "What shall I do?" dissolved, and he experienced essential oneness with the universe. He was 25 years old. On April 28, 1916, at the first light of dawn, Sotaesan was enlightened to the truth of universe. How did that happen? Was there a lightning bolt? Not really. He emerged from meditation at the break of dawn and stepped outside. The breeze felt so fresh, and suddenly everything was so clear. He knew he was free from all questions and all seeking, clearly seeing the truth of the universe and of humanity. He was surprised to see he was disheveled. His nails were long and dirty, and he realized he was hungry. Thanks to his 20 years of sincere ascetic practice, Won Buddhism was born that day, and now we celebrate April 28th as our spiritual birthday. Upon his great enlightenment, Sotaesan said, "All things in the universe are of one spiritual nature. All dharmas come from one source." In this oneness, the principle of no beginning and no ending, and the principle of cause and effect are mutually grounded, creating the clear truth.
Sotaesan chose the circle as the symbol of the truth he was awakened to.
Now, dear friends, would you please join your hearts, join your palms together for our prayer and meditation. O grace of sky and earth, grace of parents and ancestors, grace of fellow beings, grace of justice and laws, how grateful we are to celebrate as a community our founding teacher Sotaesan's enlightenment. In this pandemic era, though we cannot be together physically, we are together in spirit right now through the grace of virtual connections. We honor and celebrate all the Buddhas, sages, and teachers who guide us on the path to great awakening. We honor and celebrate the seeds of great enlightenment within each of us. In deep gratitude, we welcome the 106th birthday and founding day of One Buddhism, and the 16th anniversary of One Temples in North Carolina. It has been a great blessing to settle in this welcoming community and practice with friends near and far. Paying homage to this auspicious day, today we join our hearts and minds. And now we rest our hands on our hearts. Breathe. And feel the great potentials of enlightenment, our enlightening journey. Now let our hands rest on our Tanjan center or on your knees. May we breathe in light and breathe out peace. Breathe in light and breathe out joy. Breathe into the source of light. Breathe out and feel the infinite interconnection with all. As we breathe in and out, here, now, in our calm, clear spirit, may we see the enlightened Buddha within and the enlightened Buddhas around us. How grateful we are. Today, we sit in meditation with one mind and one heart.
Opening a new chapter of Great Enlightenment, April 28, 2021, Won Buddhist Year 106. Venerable Juksan, Head Dharma Master of USA Won Buddhism. On April 28, 2021, we celebrate Great Enlightenment Day in the 106th year of Won Buddhism. I sincerely pray that the light of Il-Wan shines upon the path of all human beings, so that freedom, peace, and equality shall be realized. I especially pray that the suffering of all people in the world caused by COVID-19 will soon end. As I observe current social difficulties, I reflect on the wisdom of our founding master Sotaesan. He lived in an era when many people were lost in suffering because the whole world was convulsed by war, but he embodied the understanding he attained from his enlightenment and paved a new pathway for all people who thirst for hope.
With the wisdom gained from his great enlightenment, Sotaesan observed the world and was concerned about a darkened future due to the rapid, unbalanced advancement of material development. He feared this would lead to a weakening of the human spirit, as well as social inequality, conflict, and discrimination. He therefore established Won Buddhism with the founding motto, "With this great opening of material power, let us cultivate a great opening of spiritual power."
As we greet Great Enlightenment Day of 2021, let us all look upon the roots of our suffering and recommit our minds and hearts. Let this give rise to a great vow to transform the enlightenment of Sotaesan into our own awakening. Let us embody Sotaesan's teachings in our daily lives so that, together, we can create a truly enlightened world. Where then can we find the essence of Sotaesan's enlightenment in order to create this new world?
Master Sotaesan recorded the essence of his enlightenment and his vision in the Dharma book of Won Buddhism, where we can see the path toward our own awakening and the path for all human beings. We have the right, as well as the responsibility, to study and contemplate this Dharma. When we do this, Sotaesan's vision and wisdom become ours. There is a saying, "Before a sage is born, the way is in heaven. When the sage comes to the world, the way is in the sage. When the sage passes away, the way is in the scripture." Won Buddhist Dharma is simple, but effective and practical in providing the criteria and compass for all who live in this contemporary world. We can harvest the fruit of grace by putting the teachings of Won Buddhism into action. When we actualize the Dharma, we live free and happy.
The secret of Sotaesan's enlightenment is found in our true nature, which is completely empty. In our daily life, we practitioners need to contemplate the empty nature of all things and make the utmost effort to clear and open our minds. Sotaesan said, "All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas from the past, present, and future have worked hard to possess the formless and invisible Dharma realm of emptiness. The reason why all Buddhas have described our mind as the Dharma realm of an open, empty sky is that the nature of our original mind is empty and free. So, when we breathe even a single breath, keep in mind that we are not separate from heaven and earth. Breathe in heaven and earth, breathe out heaven and earth."
The reality of the great enlightenment envisioned by all Buddhas exists in our daily lives. This is why Sotaesan said that when we open our eyes, there are insights and impressions. When we deeply listen with our ears, there are insights and impressions. Thus, our 6 sense organs become a door to awakening. In each and every moment, there is opportunity for awakening. We can come to understand that life itself is a gateway to enlightenment. Sotasan linked the truth of Ilwansang to everyday life so that authentic practitioners can manifest truth moment by moment.
A true practice grows and deepens in the midst of difficulties. In challenging times, let us remember we have the Dharma to heal ourselves and heal this world. I sincerely hope and pray that in America, countless enlightened teachers and numerous Buddhas emerge, and we realize a truly civilized society where freedom, peace, and equality prevail for all. May every day be a day of enlightenment.
One is the realm of samadhi beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and that transcending being and non-being, the origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, and lost the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, unenlightened people, and sentient beings. Till one manifests as both permanence and impermanence, viewed as permanence, till one unfolds into an infinite that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it viewed as impermanence, till one unfolds into infinite through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, and the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies. In the 4 forms of birth we transform through the 6 realms of existence, progressing or regressing, with grace arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Ilwansang, the Dharmakaya Buddha, by cultivating our minds and bodies deeply, knowing human affairs and universal principles, and using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until we attain the great empowerment of Ilwan and become one in the nature of Ilwan.
is peace. Enlightenment is when you find your true self in Dharma and you are free.
My interpretation of enlightenment is becoming one with Ilwan. What this means is to see yourself in every being, whether it's a tree, a flower, a dog, or any other person, to see no distinction between yourself and others.
Good morning. My name is Patty Daniel. My Dharma name is Wanunewa, and I'm here to talk this morning about what enlightenment means to me. So, what do we mean when we talk about enlightenment? My strongest association with that word comes straight out of my Western cultural heritage and what I learned about the Age of Enlightenment, also known as the Age of Reason, which, as you know, was an intellectual and philosophical movement preceded by the scientific revolution, and which dominated the world of ideas in Europe during the 17th and 18th centuries. That concept of enlightenment was centered on the pursuit of happiness, the sovereignty of reason, and the evidence of the physical senses, the realm of phenomena, as the primary source of knowledge and ideals. I find that use of the word enlightenment rather thrilling, contrasted as it was in my high school and college classes with what preceded it, the Dark Ages, a time of cruelty, exploitation of the masses by monarchies, and rampant superstition. As far as I was concerned, all the mysteries of the universe could be, or already had been, explained by science. But Buddhism introduced me to a new concept of enlightenment, one not so thrilling, and in fact, downright difficult. Wan Buddhism in particular taught me that enlightenment is being awakened to the ultimate truth of Ilwan Song, a realm beyond words and speech. It urged me to understand, to see without eyes, the world of non-duality and the essential emptiness of our true nature. What was I to do with that? I was taught that our founding master, Master Sote-san, was himself enlightened, and I thought, how could anyone possibly know that? In response, I wondered if it was possible to be a little bit enlightened, but decided that was probably like being a little bit pregnant. I thought that ordinary human wisdom could be cultivated, and that in itself was enough. After all, having also been taught that desire, craving, and attachment are the sources of our misery, I concluded that an attachment to enlightenment would therefore be problematic. I found the whole concept rather mystical and therefore troubling. I still do, in fact. Lately, however, I've mostly managed to put all that to rest. I now think I wasn't asking the right questions. I may have been asking the questions to which I already had the answers. Nowadays, I just try to focus on the big picture. I try not to pin down the concept of enlightenment with logic and reason. Rather, I try to keep it, whatever it is, in the back of my mind and go about my daily practice with as much sincerity and dedication as I can muster. The path we are all on is said to be the path to enlightenment. And Won Buddhism is somewhat unique in encouraging us all to aspire to enlightenment in this lifetime. If I just stay on the path, perhaps enlightenment will somehow unfold. Perhaps not, but regardless, the journey continues. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty, for sharing your thoughtful reflection.
Now, we'd like to sing a song about our founding Master Sotaesan's great enlightenment in Korean.
먼동이 타오르는 봄날에 이른 아침 우렁찬한 소리 새하늘 열려서라 만유가 한 채서 만법이 한 그로 새 부처님 대종사 기쁘다 대각하셨네 세외성 열으셨네 기리세 대종사님 새 부처님 우리 대종사 우다마 비오는 봄날에 이른 우주와 만생을 품 안에 안으셨네 거룩한 큰 사랑 열애의 만능을 들여시가 주셨네 새 부처님 대종사 기쁘다 대각하셨네 세외성 열으셨네 기리세 대종사님 새 부처님 우리 대종사.
Good morning. My name is Lara. My Dharma name is Won Lason. And I'll be talking about what it might feel like to be enlightened. When I think of the meaning of enlightenment, I usually fall between two poles. On the one hand, I search for concepts and language to help me define it. On the other, I am mistrustful of any language to gauge the parameters of its meaning. I'm always grateful when I read or chant the words beyond words and speech, referring to the truth of Ilwansang, or all dharmas are empty, in reference to Prajnaparamita. Not to be glib or irreverent, but I'm reminded of the judge who said, I can't tell you what pornography is, but I know it when I see it. I'd like to think that I would know enlightenment when I see it, or more accurately, when I experience it, in spite of my lack of language to express it. So the question really becomes for me, what would it feel like to be enlightened? Because I still have to communicate something in this little talk with you, I will have to use language to share it, but my language will consist of images or metaphors and a word or two about how the images and metaphors express my feelings. The experience of enlightenment for all awakened ones includes the awareness of oneness, of no separation of self and others, a partaking with all things in the great inflow and outflow of creation. This implies the complete codependence of all things, without reference to great or small, progression or regression, grace or harm. The image that has always come to me is of an amoeba-like entity, comprising all things in the universe, in which we sentient beings are like myriad small emanations along its outer edges, constantly probing outward to receive sensation and retracting as we pass them inward to the center. This is the only image that has ever allowed me to make sense of my function as a sentient being in this existence. I and everyone and everything here with me is a probing mechanism that the universe uses to experience its own infinity. So how does this image make me feel? First, it allows me to feel that I don't have to justify my existence to myself, either because of or in spite of anything I do. I so often feel inadequate and compare myself to others. I pursue perfection, reasonable or not, and judge others as well. If I were completely awakened to the truth of myself as a codependent element and emanation of the universe, I would not only feel the inherent completeness and perfection of my own nature, but accept this as true of everyone else. It would instantly and permanently erase all feelings of separation and isolation caused by ego, by conceptualization, and by judgment. The experience of enlightenment, according to awakened ones, also includes a profound awareness and acceptance of karmic consequence, of the universal law of cause and effect. Back to my image of the probing amoeba-like intelligence that incorporates all things, every probing outward will have a consequence for the whole, as information, sensation, and experience is brought inward. There will be an ever-shifting and constantly evolving interaction of cause and effect, with an unceasing alternation of grace from harm and harm from grace. For me, this experience would be to feel that there is no need to judge my own karma as good or bad, or to feel either rewarded or punished, much less to blame others for any of the working out of this constant process. Do I ever feel these states of grace? I think most of us would say that we've had the briefest awakenings to them, mostly when we were not looking for them, but perhaps after periods of meditation or koan study. Mine have mostly come when I was able to completely lose a sense of self while involved in music. What does it feel like? For me, it feels like arriving in a place that I seem to know intimately, but had somehow forgotten existed. As I said at the beginning, it is only metaphor and image that allow me to express this. So I turn to poetry to lend me the language this time. What is enlightenment, nirvana, the heart of Il One? From T.S. Eliot's Four Quartets. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Through the unknown remembered gate, when the last of earth left to discover is that which was the beginning. Or perhaps more prosaically, but no less vividly, in the words of a song by one of my favorite groups, the Wayland Jennies, called Heaven When We're Home. It's a long and rugged road, and we don't know where it's headed, but we know it's going to get us where we're going. And when we find what we're looking for, we'll drop these bags and search no more, because it's going to feel like heaven when we're home. It's going to feel like heaven when we're home. Happy Great Enlightenment Day.
Thank you all for sharing, and thank you for your presence with us today.
Happy Enlightenment Day! See you next week.
Happy Great Enlightenment Day!
Happy Great Enlightenment Day.
Feliz Día de la Iluminación.
Happy Great Enlightenment Day.
I hope we all wake up. Happy Enlightenment Day! Dankeschön! Tschüss!
일원은 어느 도단의 입정처이요 유무초월의 생사문인바 천지부모동법 법률의 본원이요 재불조사범부 중생의 성품으로 능히 성유상하고 능히 성무상하여 유상으로 보면 상주불멸로 여여자연하여 무량세계를 전개하였고 무상으로 보면 우주의 성주괴공과 만물의 생로병사와 사생의 심신작용을 따라 육도로 변화를 시켜 혹은 진급으로 혹은 혹은 강급으로 혹은 은생어애로 혹은 애생어은으로 이와 같이 무량 세계를 전개하였나니 우리 어리석은 중생은 이 법신불 일원상을 제받아서 심신을 원만하게 수호하는 공부를 하며 또는 사리를 원만하게 아는 공부를 하며 또는 심신을 원만하게 사용하는 공부로 지성으로 하여 진급이 되고 은혜는 입을지언정 강급이 되고 해독은 입지 아니하기로소 이런 위력을 또